Imagine you live in a storybook town where everyone is obsessed with the holidays, and one woman rekindles an old romantic flame over a cup of hot cocoa, while her black friend encourages her from the sideline. Does this sound like the perfect world to you? Then you're in luck, because I've just described every holiday movie that Hallmark makes and airs during the months of November and December. These low-budget, heartwarming holiday comedies are some of my favorite movies ever. And whether or not you've devoted 2 hours to watching their newest release, Christmas at Graceland, I thought it would be worth sitting down and reviewing the contents of this classic film because the holidays are all about sharing. And according to this movie, the holidays are also all about Elvis, holiday crafting, and older people giving you gifts that you don't really need.
Barbecue sauce. Reindeer wallet.
Wow, thanks. I also saw this at TJ Maxx. And let's not forget to mention that this movie also stars country singer / American Idol alum Kelly Pickler alongside Wes Brown, whose name I haven't Googled yet. Today I'm serving up a holiday clip breakdown of the Hallmark original movie, Christmas at Graceland. Stay tuned, this is one you won't want to Christmas. Hello television viewers, my name is Nick. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel for a holiday festivity that I just can't get enough of. Hallmark movies are everything to me, and I'm not trying to brag, but I've turned a couple other people onto these movies in my life as well, which made this movie interesting for several reasons that we're about to get into. But first, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more clip breakdowns on Hallmark movies. You can also check out my clip breakdown playlist below. But first, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button to join the Nick D crew. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload new ones every week. You don't want to miss that piping hot cocoa, baby. One might say that Hallmark movies are formulaic, and Christmas at Graceland checked all of the boxes. And we're in luck, because when this premiered on November 15th, it was only the first of a 9-night Thanksgiving movie event, hosted by Hallmark poster girl and former star of Full House, Candace Cameron Bure. I'm gonna let Candace explain this 9-night event to you, but don't worry if you're a little confused.
9-night Thanksgiving movie event. 9 nights, 12 original holiday movies premiere across 2 networks.
Seems like a lot of extra math, but okay. We'll let you steer the wheel, Hallmark. I'm not in charge. Now, I sat through this movie last night and marked out all of my favorite parts that I want to talk about. This movie spent most of its budget on the first shot where we swoop into a window from outside. Very cinematic. That's when we meet the main character, Laurel, played by Kelly Pickler, who is a busy working mom. Kelly Pickler has a southern accent, so you might be thinking, oh, is it gonna be hard to understand her? A little.
I'm just trying not to wrap Emma's doll in my pie chart.
I'm sorry, Kelly, can you realign your jaw and say that one more time for me? Laurel is so overworked at her job here at Chicago Financial Corporation that it required 2 scenes to convey that information to us. Basically, all you need to know is Laurel is being sent by her rude redheaded boss to Memphis, Tennessee in order to try to close an account. That's another signature of Hallmark movies. The main character has some sort of job that is vaguely explained, but they really don't want you to think too much about it.
You close this deal, you might just find a promotion in your Christmas stocking.
Ugh, it's not appropriate to talk to a female employee about her stocking. For some reason, this business trip is supposed to take place over Christmas, so Laurel is bringing her young daughter. Her name is Emma.
Are you gonna be working?
Yeah, just a bit, but when I'm in meetings, you'll be with my friend Sally and her family. She's my old college roommate. I'll get to show you Graceland at Christmas.
Perfect. I think that's all the exposition we need. When Emma and Laurel finally arrive in Memphis at Sally's place, they're in awe of her beautiful Christmas decorations.
Mom, can we decorate like this at home?
I'd love to, sweetie, but I'm not sure where the roof reindeer are gonna go in our condo.
I feel like in this scene, the script called for Sally's house to be covered in lavish Christmas decorations. The budget saw Sally's house in more like a plywood cutout and cheap inflatables you buy at the craft store type of situation. Oh, and in case you were wondering, Sal, in this case, is the token black friend who proves that there is diversity in these Christmas movies. There's always one token non-white female who might have a non-white family of their own. Once you notice this, it's almost comical. I think it's great that these characters get a fair amount of screen screen time as supporting roles, it's not great that they are also never more than supporting roles, if you know what I mean.
Sal, these decorations are amazing.
Oh, that's what happens when a graphic designer falls in love with a handsome electrician.
Huh, I don't really see what graphic design has to do with all this store-bought garbage in here, but okay. Another thing you'll notice about Sal throughout this movie is that she's addicted to giving her kids Christmas crafts to do.
What are we making today?
Birdseed ornament.
Oh, cool.
And she's not afraid to share some little lifestyle tips right here in the middle of a scene.
We're making mason jar snow globes.
You add glitter to the mason jars and a drop or two of glycerin, and before you can say Kris Kringle, instant mason jar snow globes. Voila.
Awesome, what happens if you drink that whole thing? And just in case you're wondering how Sal decides when she's gonna have her Tennessee accent, I've worked out that it's basically every third thing she says.
Jamie have to work over the holidays. He's doing well.
Oh, good.
Still full of surprises, I'm sure.
We learned that when Laurel was young, she was in a country singing duo with some guy named Clay Shepard. Sal graphic designed all these stupid posters, so that's why she has them up in her house. And then surprise, surprise, in the very next scene, we see Laurel and Emma at Graceland, which is Elvis's mansion. They shot on location at this sacred place. This is where Elvis died on the toilet. Have some respect. And while they're there, boom, Laurel bumps into Clay, who is a concert promoter now here in Tennessee.
Oh, a Christmas concert. Does that mean you're still performing?
Concert promoter. So we're actually doing the concert here at Graceland.
That's wonderful.
In case you haven't noticed, Clay and Laurel are both white, single, and they seem to have had sex in high school. That's all it takes for true love to take seed in these Hallmark movies. Our main mom is staying at a beautiful suite in a hotel called the Guest House at Graceland, which, as you'll see, is an actual hotel, and they really want you to book. There are entire sections of this movie that seem to be commercials for the Guest House or for Sirius XM. They even flaunt their attentive staff with a character named Kathy, who is the concierge.
Welcome to the guest house at Graceland.
She definitely makes it seem like this hotel has great service. The kind of service that will freak you out and make you want to call an anonymous tip line.
Emma, are you looking forward to Christmas?
Clay somehow sends Laurel's old guitar to her hotel room only minutes after meeting her. Clay also promised to take the girls on a private tour of the Graceland mansion the following day, but in the morning he calls to say, sorry, something came up, can I take you tonight instead? I'm not sure why this whole scene existed, certainly didn't add anything to this story. Another thing I love about Hallmark holiday movies is they find ways of adding the word Christmas to just about any word or phrase. This is how Laurel meets the guy who she's supposed to be doing business with. His name is Mr. Franklin.
Oh, I'm sorry. A little Christmas help, if you please, young lady.
Of course.
Christmas help? You just drop a tree in my face and ask for Christmas help? Knock you right off that ladder, old man. Mr. Franklin is the owner and outright decision maker for all of Cyprus Savings and Loan. And there's always an older character who runs a really amazing business who keeps his employees feeling like family, because that's how businesses should be run. It's very heartwarming.
We tend to do Christmas big around here, though my wife drew the line at live reindeer. We've even been giving out snowman piggy banks for Christmas.
Oh, how cute.
It's not a piggy bank unless it's shaped like a pig, so that's just a snowman bank. Mr. Hamilton, shut your mouth. I feel like I keep calling him different names, but you know who I'm talking about. He's the only Mister in this whole movie. Don't miss this scene, sponsored by Sirius XM, where I think a real radio DJ, he's interviewing Clay about this Christmas concert that's coming up in Memphis.
What can fans expect?
Argo fans can expect an amazing lineup. We have everyone from major superstars to... With Graceland Mansion decked out in Christmas lights, it should be an amazing event.
Ooh, major superstars are gonna be there? I'll take a front row ticket. Also, apparently in Clay's universe, being a concert promoter also means being in charge of putting on the whole concert. His official job title is God of Concert. That night, the girls arrive for their tour, and to their surprise, it is completely empty. They have the whole place to themselves. Not only is that super luxurious for our characters, but also you don't have to hire any extras, and you can shoot on location after hours.
The band that dropped out was a local favorite, and if you forgot, you were a star in Memphis. She still sounds fantastic.
She does. She sings in the shower all the time.
They're really teasing the big moment when Laurel finally decides to sing. What's confusing to me is she has a daughter who seems to be, what is she, 7 years old? And the mother has never sung for her or told her that she used to be a singer. She explains that she got the bank job because she couldn't balance her dreams with her responsibilities, which is just a little confusing because it wasn't clear at the beginning that she hated her job or that there was something else she would rather be doing. For some reason, Laurel calls down to the front desk and asks this.
What's your hotel policy on Christmas trees?
Would you really need to say, what's your hotel policy? Couldn't you just say, what's your policy? You're talking to the hotel. The girls went Christmas tree shopping, and that gives Kathy the chance to help them out because she's both a concierge and a bellhop.
Look at that.
Christmas delivery! Excuse us! Excuse us! Christmas delivery!
Okay, Kathy, maybe you don't need to yell out what you're doing to the whole lobby. Every time her boss calls her, it's because he's gonna yell at her for not being mean enough. She keeps being like, listen, this Mr. Franklin is really into family. He wants me to go to this party. And the boss is like, tell him to shut the hell up and sign the papers.
Keep the clock ticking.
Stay on the offensive.
Yes, sir.
The whole reason the boss sent her on this trip was because she had the southern charm, and now he's telling her to be mean. Finally, we arrive at the Christmas festival. You know how every town has a Christmas festival? You would think so anyway, based on how these Hallmark movies do it. You always end up at the town square for the Christmas flea market, the Christmas party, the Christmas cookout, whatever it is.
Love this festival, y'all.
Don't they have Christmas festivals in Chicago?
Well, sure, but they can never get the pecan pie quite right.
Yeah, Marcus, shut the hell up. I'm not in Chicago right now. Clay arrives and the little girl runs directly into his arms. I know everybody's different, but she met him 2 nights ago. Now she's treating him like he's already her dad. Just saying, they're ramping up that character arc a little fast for my taste.
Need some cocoa?
Let's do it. Cheers.
Did I not tell you that there is always hot cocoa randomly worked into the dialogue in these movies? Tell me why and I'll be happy. I just want to know why. Laurel and Clay are able to somehow ditch the kid, and then they make their way right back to Graceland Mansion, which they have unbridled access to once again. Again, Clay is a concert promoter. I don't know how that also makes him the key holder to the Elvis Presley estate. Don't think too hard about all of that. It's not pertinent to the story. It's also his concert promoter knowledge that allows him to drop this cold hard Elvis fact on her.
Elvis bought this in 1974 to replace the gold one that he gave to his Aunt Nash.
Neat. I guess you're allowed to just sit down and play Elvis's piano. Just as I'm starting to get underwhelmed with how kind of ugly Elvis's mansion was, finally Kelly Pickler blesses us with an original song. No, I'm sorry, I meant a public domain song. Some local act dropped out of the Christmas show, so Clay is in charge of replacing them.
And?
I still think it should be us.
Fine, I'll think about it.
Oh, my sister's calling. She watches these movies too. I want to hear what her favorite parts of Hallmark movies are.
Last night I watched one where the boss wanted to replace all the employees with machines, but not during Christmas. The town was saved.
Okay, so Clay is back at his meeting with this woman who features 2 different hairstyles in the movie. Even the leads usually have the same perfectly curled hair the whole time. Clay is up for a big concert promoter job in New York, and the execs are gonna be at this Christmas show.
Told them to expect great things.
Laurel meets at the Christmas party that Cypress Loan and Financial or whatever is having, and I get more and more confused about what this business is supposed to be.
I thought we were meeting at the company headquarters.
Well, exactly, which also happens to be my home. I'd like you to meet my wife, Glenda.
Okay, I get that you're a small company, but wouldn't your company headquarters at least be in that building where your company does business? You want people coming to your house for business meetings? Don't you sleep there? Mr. Franklin is one of those wealthy people on Dateline who get murdered all the time.
Now, it's time.
For what?
How good are you at pinning the nose on the reindeer?
I'm not sure yet, since it's some dumb thing you made up. Laurel is right at home in this Christmas fun. She actually pins the nose right on the reindeer, and look how much fun everyone's having. So genuine, so believable. There's a gift exchange where everyone's cheering for these 2 ladies with their matching socks. I'm not sure what that's supposed to even be. Mr. Franklin even has a present for Laurel, who opens it, really awkwardly.
Why don't you open yours?
Okay. Thank goodness.
Oh, a reindeer wallet.
Cool. Glad this whole scene was here. But don't worry, Laurel also brought a gift for Mr. and Mrs. Franklin, who receive it as awkwardly as she did.
Oh boy. Can't wait to see what this is.
Yeah, just ad-lib, things you would say while opening a present, like, oh boy. Laurel gave them the perfect antique photo of their bank building, proving she really gets the heart of the holiday. She's very sentimental.
The meeting just wrapped up.
And how did it go?
Well, Mr. Franklin wants to take things slow. He just has some concerns about retaining the staff and the culture.
Aside from attending parties and answering angry phone calls from her boss, it seems like Laurel doesn't have to do too much work on this business trip. She seems to be spending a lot of time racking up room service charges at her hotel.
Now, the key to Christmas s'mores is you've got to get your marshmallow perfectly toasted.
Christmas s'mores? Are you kidding me? Like, you can just be eating s'mores and it happens to be Christmas. Oh, but no, these are Christmas s'mores, and here's another little recipe for you so you can make these at home with your grandkids.
We're making Christmas s'mores. You want to have one?
Absolutely.
It has peppermint chocolate.
Emma, would you like to join us? We're gonna read The Night Before Christmas.
Kathy, do you ever go home? I've seen you as the concierge in the bright early morning and in the dead of night, roaming the field looking for children to come watch movies with you. Kathy is a sad character, and I feel bad for her.
Can I, Mommy?
Absolutely. Thank you, Kathy.
Yes, Emma, you go off with the hotel employee who I met this week. I don't care what her childcare credentials are. Careful not to trip and fall in the fire. Love you. Clay wants to practice the song that they'll be doing at the Christmas concert. So they have this innovative idea to combine two different songs. I don't know if this has ever been done before, but let's take a listen.
Silent night, holy
Silver bells, it's Christmas time.
It just goes on like that for 1 full minute, and then at the end, suddenly there's a surprise crowd. Proving that they're good enough to perform in front of people. See how they're laying the groundwork for the second half of this movie? We're not even half done. Even though Laurel hasn't officially agreed to do this show yet, Clay has taken the liberty of putting her name in the program, so it's pretty much decided.
Can you please do it, Mommy? It would be the best Christmas present ever.
And probably the craziest thing I've ever done. Why not?
This is where you lose me, Laurel. I don't understand how it's that crazy. You guys used to perform together all the time. You just stopped because it wouldn't support your hair dye habit. Outside, the girls are having a hot cocoa stand because everybody in this town is obsessed with hot cocoa. To further prove that she's not doing any work on this trip, Laurel ignores a call from her boss in order to make snow angels. That doesn't look entirely real to me. Are those paper dolls that they've animated? Look how wide their legs are going. That's an unusual place to use CGI, but hey, I'm not the director. I take back what I said earlier. Laurel has sort of beachy waves in this scene where she tells her daughter about a show that Clay booked.
3,000 people in the audience. I got scared.
You did?
Lost my voice. And Clay had to finish the show by himself.
And that's why she gave up singing. In order to convince her daughter to be a fearless singer, she is conquering her fears by singing at the Christmas show. Clay decides to take the girls to Laurel's childhood home so they can Christmas carol to those complete strangers who live there now. At first, Emma's a little hesitant, but once she hears the perfectly studio recorded voices of her mom and Clay, she joins in.
Born is the King of Israel.
That was lovely.
We're actually Jewish, so I don't agree with all of that song, but thank you.
I'm so glad you could join us.
Well, an ice rink is a unique place to talk business.
Girl, this guy has been obsessed with Christmas since the day you met. You really think this is that unusual? He hit you with a branch and then asked for Christmas help. This is weird to you? The two continue to discuss that he doesn't want to lay anybody off. Somehow Clay shows up there and they're holding hands.
I did not expect to be doing this on a business trip.
Really? I feel like you came on this business trip fully expecting to also celebrate Christmas with your daughter. You told her you'd only be working a little bit, so I'm not sure what to believe here, Laurel.
How happy she is.
How happy you are.
I love in these movies when people just end the scene by hugging. It's like, we said something nice to each other. You asked for a movie with all the Christmas classics. And by classics, I mean 18th century Yuletide carols. So here's another full minute of that. I guess I thought this movie would have a few more Elvis songs.
Come on, Laurel. We can use some help frosting these cookies.
Seriously, Sal? If I come home and you're doing one more Christmas activity, I'm gonna burn this place to the ground. What do you do with your time for the rest of the year? Is that when you do graphic design? Laurel's boss calls and he wants her to come home. He's mad because Mr. Franklin refuses to lay off any of his employees, even though Laurel has come up with other cost-saving suggestions, such as...
There's unused space in 3 of their branches they could sublet out.
And they could boost revenue with online banking to millennial customers.
It took some lady from the company you're trying to merge with to tell you that you should have online banking in 2018? How did this Cypress Financial place ever get off the ground?
Clay, I was thinking that if this deal goes through, then maybe I could ask my boss for a transfer here to Memphis.
Laurel's thinking about laying down roots, and that means that Clay is also thinking about changing his entire life plans for a woman. I'm not here to pass judgment on whether that's a good or a bad thing. Christmas has no rules.
Pinecone elves.
Pinecone elves, I'm gonna kill you. You're just determined to fill your house with flammable garbage, aren't you, Sal?
I know a joke. What do snowmen like to do on vacation?
What?
Chill out. Emma really came out of her shell this trip.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Mr. Hatcher, the mean boss, finds out that Laurel's name is on the program for this Christmas show, and he's livid.
Please let me explain. I was just doing a favor for a friend.
But we'll discuss it tomorrow when you're back, with or without the deal.
Tomorrow, but we're staying through Christmas.
Sometimes the only hope for a deal is to walk away from the table.
So she goes back to Mr. Franklin's business headquarters for one last chance.
Oh my. Excuse the reindeer games.
Bro, all you think about is Christmas, and you've been wearing the same red sweater since day one.
Is there anything we can do to come to some sort of agreement?
But they'd still be layoffs. And even a few is too many. Now, you see that painting? That's the cypress tree my grandpa planted on our family farm over 80 years ago.
I hate to break it to you, but that could be a picture of any cypress tree.
So your decision is final?
Some things just don't have a price.
But that doesn't mean they can't give Laurel a second gift.
You can't forget this little idol we picked up.
That's right. I almost forgot. Glenda and I did get you a little Christmas present.
You shouldn't have.
Remember, they've already spoiled her with the reindeer wallet earlier.
Thank you. Barbecue sauce. I love it.
Thanks so much, I don't need this. So Laurel's basically in a bind here because her boss knows that she's gonna try to be in this Christmas show and is saying, you can't, you have to come home. I'm not quite sure why he has control over her whole life and can tell her what show she can and can't sing in at night, but whatever. She basically tells Clay she needs to leave or she's gonna lose her job.
Performing in this concert is the last thing I need to do to convince my boss that I'm committed.
He doesn't react great to that.
Does this not seem familiar to you at all? This is history repeating itself.
This isn't my choice. Please understand.
I was just hoping to be different this time. Just do me one favor. Tell Emma I said goodbye.
This seems a little dramatic. I mean, she's not your daughter, first of all. Also, I'm not sure how getting stage fright 20 years ago is the same situation as me having to return to my out-of-state job now. Hallmark movies are famous for this third act conflict. There's a little bit of a hiccup in the romance. I hope the misunderstanding gets worked out. Here's a montage of all of the stuff that's happened in the last 90 minutes. Of course, Emma is sad that they're not spending Christmas in Graceland like they had intended. And in case you haven't noticed, this is a 180-degree character development. She didn't want to have Christmas in Graceland at first. Canceled the child psychologist appointment. Looks like Emma's gonna be just fine. Kathy continues to be creepy by giving Emma a gift. Don't you have dozens of other guests to attend to right now?
A snow globe of Graceland.
So you'll remember us.
Thank you, Miss Kathy.
Merry Christmas. I'm charging that to your room. The women all say their goodbyes. Of course, Emma has made a new friend with that girl who barely speaks, but they're very sad to be driving home.
How about a little music?
Hold the phone. Is that Elvis to my ears?
What is it, Mommy?
Just need to make a quick call.
Finally, it's the night of the big Christmas concert. We have a couple unknown musicians making cameos and walking off stage.
Jacqueline Fields, ladies and gentlemen.
We did not secure the royalties to play their music, so we'll just have them finishing up. Oh, good show. The executive lady with the job in New York is loving this show, and she's featuring her second hairstyle. Hey, girl. And unfortunately, the show is just about to come to a close.
Stand by to wrap things up.
But then he turns around, and guess who he sees?
Hey! We were driving and something just guided us back here.
You look beautiful.
Quick change in the car before a concert reminds me of old times.
You couldn't also quick change that lip color to match your dress a little better? Oh, okay. Thankfully, Clay is the god of concert, so he has the ability to quickly add another song to this concert, which was not planned before. Finally, it's time for Kelly Pickler to take the stage and sing her full song. But first, this generic monologue.
The last time I performed in front of so many people, I just kind of froze like a Christmas snowman.
You could just say snowman. With this whole movie revolving around Elvis and country music, I thought that maybe this would be the time when we get an original song out of Kelly. But after the first few lines, it's clear that that's not what's gonna happen.
Silent night, holy night.
Oh, but maybe they're gonna do one of those mashups from earlier. At least that's a little different.
Round young virgin mother and child.
Even stoplights, blinking bright red and green.
Oh no, they're just gonna change songs halfway through. Okay. This goes on for quite some time, but then they decide to kick it up Memphis style.
You gotta say we kicked us up a notch Memphis style.
Please welcome to the stage the most people of color we've ever put in a single shot. Because of Laurel's bravery, her daughter is also inspired to keep singing. I feel like the child actor who played Emma was like, do I get to sing in the movie too? And they were like, yeah, well, you get to move your mouth. Yeah, that's how you sing. Somehow, Laurel's performance at this concert proves to Mr. Franklin that she's just the kind of person he needs on his team.
Not sure can match the pay of some hotshot Chicago firm, but we never work weekends. And we leave every day at 5 to be with our families.
Mm-hmm, that's right.
Oh, great. Who cares about money? If I can leave work an hour early, that's like the same as paying my mortgage. I don't know if you can tell, but we're coming up on the end here because it just starts to snow and Laurel and Clay reunite to talk things over.
Everything I want is here. Especially you.
I love you. And I always have.
Awesome, you can come adopt my kid now. And they all lived happily ever after, brought to you by the Guest House at Graceland and SiriusXM. Wow, that was a doozy. So much can happen in one week-long business trip to Holiday Townville, USA. What do you think of Christmas at Graceland and Hallmark movies in general? Are you a huge fan like I am? There'll be more information on how you can watch the full movie in the links below. But if you enjoyed this clip breakdown, make sure you leave a big thumbs up. That lets me know that you want to see even more TV movie recaps in the future. Don't forget to check out my clip breakdown playlist, but most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right over here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload new ones every week. You guys are all the greatest. Thank you so much for having Christmas at Graceland with me. I will see you next time.